injured here, 3v3 Argent Shelf Redux blue team. First up is Osinski's Chaos Lord, a durable and destructive commander that fights melee, walks through cover and cannot be suppressed. Good offense and disruption. Alongside, XPhial is a Grey Knight Brother captain, durable commander that walks through cover and cannot be suppressed. Very good offense and support, fights melee combat. Alongside, Max Power is a Techmarine, starts off range combat, does some nice damage, can also build structures and repair, some good utility. Red team, Illethor is another Chaos Lord, and it's a full mirror on this west side. Here you see Osinski in the background come in. Floid is a Raven Alpha, tunneling commander with great mobility, fights range combat and has some good offense as well. And rounding us off is Adila as a big angry Warboss melee commander that walks through cover, very good offense, disruption and support from the front lines. As you can see, the Warboss gets a pretty crazy new rank 60 armor with 2.1 better. Looks pretty awesome. The mech boy also has a new outfit for rank 59. These bionic eyes and this crazy contraption on his back, some kind of power pack, almost looks like a big mech. And he's leading a line going after these scouts. These are max powers, and he loses two of the models very quickly. Warboss is forced off, but here come double shooters and double termagants from Floid. Warboss of Osinski coming mid to help out. XPhial with double stormtroopers. You might see double grenade launchers for these guys, which are very effective. You can manage them well. Here comes the first one, in fact. 75-20 for those grenade launchers. Turns them into a miniature artillery unit. Can disrupt with grenade barrage. West side is red. Double heretics from Osinski going straight into Havocs here. And he's chasing off these heretics. Needs to turn around and try and deal with the CSM. Heavy range of retreat for Illethor. Good offense and quite durable, especially when you give them their marks. Can be very potent offensive force. Chaos Lord chasing down the other Chaos Lord, who's in turn chasing the CSM into this garrison. Now a Revenant tunnel has been spotted. Going to get taken down by the heretics. There we go. Now they are pressuring power very early. Chaos Lord in amongst. Chaos Space Marines get out of the building so they can all shoot at the same target effectively. Going to get into retreat path for some melee. Heretics dropping like flies, and Floid in retreat path. That is bad. Osinski losing one of his heretic squads, and the other one getting away with just one model. That's a lot of reinforcing to do. Heretics are very fragile in their default state, more fragile than they are in retail. In fact, 424, 498. Max Power has a turret up already and a beacon, and he's just sitting there, not supporting XPhial at all. Double stormtroopers, we do see double grenade launchers, and here the turret comes into play, covering this area very well. Red team could try and flank from this side or this side, but a full frontal assault is not recommended early on. We do have a warrior brood on the field for Floid, losing a bunch of termagants. Perhaps we'll see a hive node. Brother captain runs away, he's level 1, chased by sluggers, but they run into the turret and retreat. Here come tactical marines with their flamer up. Nice buffs in 2.1 for this thing. Price reduction, range increase, and 100% accuracy on the move. Also does slight amount of courage damage, so it will help you suppress from long ranges with our devastators perhaps. Tactical marines out of cover though and losing model. Now they retreat. Double shooters responsible for that. And there's a burrow trap put up by the Raven Alpha, but it's being spotted by something. What is it? It's the stormtroopers who have their sergeant. In fact, the scouts also have their sergeant, so they also spotted it. You can see the detector icon, that eye decorator. They also have the grenade decorator. Stormtroopers here also with the eye decorator. These guys without it because they don't have their sergeant. West side, Illethor pushing, has Raptors on the field, and he has Havocs of his own. Osinski with double Havocs. That is a pretty bad build up against what Illethor has actually, because he has a Chaos Lord which can deal with a setup team by himself. Just put up the Dark Halo and worship him in with the Corn speed buff, and he has Raptors, which of course are jump troops and can very handily hard counter a setup team with their leap into combat. Also suppress when they land, spreading fear. These Chaos Space Marines with Eternal Warp, a flat 20% damage increase both melee and range, you can tell by the plus decorator and those insignias around their weapons. Osinski trying to flank the Havocs. Havocs very, very good at suppressing from long range, but the Chaos Lord cannot be suppressed, and he's found a way around, and he's going to try and tie up these Havocs and push with his army. And here he comes with a double Havocs of his own, and looks like he's going to force off Illethor here. Nice push. Raptors still in play. Here come Aspiring Champion Heretics. These guys are dangerous in tier 1 with that Chaos Marine leading them. He is pretty mean in melee, especially with their Doom Blast going off. They can cause lots of problems for Raptors and Assault Troops. Assault Marines, I mean, and other melee squads. Illethor staying in this engagement with his Chaos Lord, but is retreating now, and the Raptors retreat. Can he get a model off them? There's a Doom Blast just trying desperately to get a model. Doom Blast does good damage on retreat. There's Kill the Weak, which takes out a Raptor. Nicely done. Chaos Lord starting off with a 30 DPS power melee weapon, that Demon Sword. Brother Captain, much the same. His Force Sword that he starts with a 30 DPS power melee weapon. Illethor going tier 2, as does Osinski. XPhial already there, just with a strike squad and double grenade launcher. Stormtroopers max power, has some Assault Marines jumping in to these warriors. That's a burrow trap going off though. Ouch! That is some nasty damage to those Assault Marines. Also knocks back and stuns. It didn't knock back those Assault Marines, but they just jumped in. When Raptors and Assault Marines jump in, they have a few seconds of knockback immunity. Ravener Alpha taking down a tactical Marine. Here is that burrow trap, but he's forced off by scouts. And those Stormtroopers might take him down in retreat. 6-4-1-0, there he goes. Warboss hanging back, shooting with these custom shooter there. Has some looters. These guys suppressed with this death gun. They can also infiltrate with hide the guns. Burrow trap up here as well. There is Malignant Blindness from Osinski, reducing the range of all enemy troops. A good way to help you counter setup teams actually. Brother Captain teleporting in with his Nemesis Force Halberd, and this is a nasty 83 DPS power melee weapon with a 10 power melee splash. It really, really hurts heavy armor infantry like these Raptors. As you can see there, he's just hitting the Chaos Lord and doing damage to the Raptors as well. Teleporter back as well, 30 power for this thing. The Halberd is 50 power. All of the Brother Captain's weapons are pretty expensive actually, apart from his tier 1 Force Sword upgrade. All of them I think are 50 power actually. I think that's slightly too expensive for his Force Staff. 367-423. Burrow trap, and here comes another Ravener Tunnel. Warrior Brood. And a Zone Throat on the way for Floid, not wanting to use a melee army, I don't think, on this very long north to south map, especially with this turret still here. And here we see that beacon giving health regeneration and allowing a retreat point, and allows you to reinforce. The Techmarine going for his melee build, Axe of the Mechanicum, 50 DPS power melee weapon, also the Refractor Field, and Bionics is on the way. That will buff the Axe's damage by 10%, taking up to 55 DPS. Assault Marines jumping and looters, but they soon run away. I'm not sure why they ran away. Probably ate a shot from the Zone Throat, perhaps. West side is going very well for Osinski. He has a Blood Crusher. The Havocs now of Illethor have an autocannon, Mark of Horn. Good damage to all targets with a small area of effect. So that Blood Crusher now needs to be careful. And a Corn Shrine up for Osinski. Very nice aggressive play with this Shrine, buffing the damage of all of this stuff with those yellow buff circles. I don't think it buffs vehicles, no, could not see one on the Blood Crusher. Also spit out Bloodletters itself. Raptors jumping in with their Aspiring Champion, doing some serious damage with that Lightning Claw. 40 DPS power melee weapon, that thing. Heretics stop worshipping the Shrine, turn to engage the Raptors, who have lost the model but do very well, taking out a Havoc squad. Osinski too slow to react. Bloodletters, golden Bloodletters even, coming out of the Shrine and force off the Raptors. I think, yes, Osinski was too busy dealing with his Blood Crusher, which goes down to the Havocs and Plague Marines. So Osinski in huge amounts of trouble now, has to abandon his shrine and fall back. Also kicking off mid, Warboss has his boss pole buffing the Tyranids and his Orks with a health buff and some suppression resistance. Huge engagement here. Turret is still there, they haven't dealt with it yet. I think the Zoanthropes are shooting at it. Jumped by the Assault Marines though. Brother Captain teleports in, goes after the Zoanthropes as well. Orks in mass retreat. Warboss is still going. Zoanthropes running the hell away. They are an artillery unit, which is why they've been used at range against this turret. Warboss trying to get in. The turret goes down. Yes, they took it out. The beacon is still there though. Chaos Lord of Osinski's level 2 has Lightning Claws, now hits level 3. Mantle of Hate and the Icon of Khorne. Max power. Reinforcing at his beacon. We now have Stern Guard veterans on the field with a new unit icon, as you can see. First Company Tactical Marines. West side being capped by Illethor. Osinski, knowing he's severely weakened against Illethor, comes mid to help out with his Chaos Lord. Is now back on the west side though. Has some Bloodletters. Power melee demon infantry. Very, very powerful offensive unit that can teleport passively and actively. There is Let the Galaxy Burn though from Illithor's Chaos Lord. Raptors, wow, doing a real number on those heretics there. Havocs tied up by Osinski's Chaos Lord, and these Lightning Claws are a 100 DPS power melee weapon. They are very, very scary. 350, 321. Raptors under Khorne Worship getting that nice speed buff. What's going on here? It's the Brother Captain against Plague Marines. Plague Marines are not heavy infantry, but that halberd still doing a very good job on them. How can it not be heavy infantry? It's a travesty. Almost level 2 those guys. Forced off by a Rhino. XPhial has put a twin link las cannon on it and goes tier 3. In fact, all of blue team go tier 3. That was Drain Life you saw there. Chaos Lord and the Brother Captain forcing off Illethor, who goes for Lightning Claws himself, and the Icon of Khorne. 326, 321. Bunch of Orks running away. These guys are fully upgraded shooter boys. Assault Squad doing quite well now, have Thunder and Lightning and their Sergeant. Techmarines level 3, fully kitted out with this melee build. Raven Alpha has the Corrosive Devourer, very, very nasty plasma weapon, and also damage vehicles with corrosive shots ability, as you can tell by the tooltip. Hardened Carapace as well. Double Zoanthropes doing quite well. Counter pretty much all ranged infantry and forcing off those Stern Guard. Can outrange most things. They can't outrange other artillery units. They're actually quite short range for tier 2 artillery, but they make up for it for the fact that they don't need to set up and such. Also give this health regeneration synapse, you can see it on those termagants. Blue team have been forced off. Can red team push and perhaps cap their natural? Because Osinski has west. Plasma cannon setting up. Very long range artillery for Space Marines, but it can't get a shot off. Warboss in melee, eating shots from the Zoanthropes as well, taking a very long time to retreat, and was almost finished off. Now they do have the support of this beacon. You see the Brother Captain retreating all the way back to the beacon. That's the huge advantage a beacon can give you. Assault Marines in huge amounts of trouble. What is this? Land Raider Crusader, I think. Assault Marines almost completely wiped. In fact, they do get away. One hit point, they do not get away. Taken down. I think the Tank Buster's got the last hit. Bizarre. Big, big blow for max power though. Here comes a Land Raider Crusader. Brother Captain. Good grief. Tank Buster shots pouring into it already. And corrosive shots up for the Raven Alpha is level 2. Look at the damage the Land Raider takes already. Super unit for Grey Knights. Hurricane bolters on the side of sponsors. That's 6 bolters strapped together, and those suppress as well, as you'd expect. Twin linked assault cannon and a multi-melt. And here come Terminators from max power. Strike squad moving in. These guys with their Nemesis focus upgrade, I believe you can tell, because they have a fist icon above their head. Gives them a melee damage buff and a health buff. Sluggers fully upgraded with burners and nobody to run away. Here are the Terminators getting their assault cannon. Quite surprised about that. I thought he would have gone for the heavy flamer, teleporting for some nasty cleansing flames. Perhaps he wants to assault cannon these zone thropes from long range and put pressure on them. Everything back at base. For Floyd, he has a tunnel here that he can use. Look at the west side. Chaos Lord's doing battle both with their lightning claws. Drain life for this guy, but it's going to go down. 295, 267, a 2-to-1 cap for red. Very, very close. Auto cannon for Havocs, auto cannons across the board for Chaos and Imperial Guard, getting a price reduction in 2.1. Very, very, very nice weapon now for the price, especially. Bloodletter's backing off. These guys can warp shift out of existence and take no damage momentarily, but they can't attack or cap when they do that. 279, 267, Chaos Predator on the field with Mark of Khorne greatly buffing the damage of its side sponsored heavy bolters by 75%, I think it is. You see the damage that they're putting on that Chaos Lord there, forcing him off. In fact, level 4 Chaos Lord, Brother Captain teleporting, seeing a lot of support from this guy on the west side. Pretty much no support from Floyd, and just as I say that, here comes Floyd with double zone thropes and pretty much the rest of his army. Where's his Ravena Alpha? It's all already there. Burrowed. He's gonna get up like that and disrupt those heretics, and down goes the Predator tank. Nicely done by Floyd. Got a rear armor hit with corrosive shots and took it down. 253, 267, double zone thropes still in play. He's done very well to preserve them with assault marines and the teleporting Brother Captain around. But those assault marines went down though, of course. Red with a huge army advantage, or maybe not. Osinski just putting some Chaos Terminators onto the field. Twin Link Bolters and Power Fists. They teleport out though, cannot retreat, much like the Loyalist Terminators with Power Fists and Storm Bolters, these guys. And Grey Knight Terminators on the field also for XPhial, and here we see one of the new things in 2.1. These guys can get a wrist-mounted side cannon to use as a sidearm. They can also get incinerators, or an incinerator I should say. The same deal for Paladins as well. So now they have this anti-everything sidearm to use as they run into melee combat, which is very nice for them. 219, 267, the Grey Knight Terminator variants were a huge disadvantage. I thought that they couldn't get any ranged weapons. Now they have this option, not quite as powerful as the dedicated ranged weapons as the Loyalist Terminators and the Chaos Terminators have, but it does do a good job as they run into melee. As you can see here, there's Armory Inferno, but it doesn't knock down Grey Knight Terminators, and it's a 2v2 on this west side. This is going to be nuts. Warrior Brood going into those Grey Knight Terminators. There's a Tyranid formation. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Lots of disruption, some decent damage, and a synapse for these Tyranids. And these Grey Knight Terminators are getting absolutely hammered here. And they're going to go down, and they do go down. Eating fire from double zone thropes, Plague Marines, and auto cannon, a bunch of other stuff. Not to mention a Gene Stealer Brood. Now with their Rending Claws, which are pretty much as nasty as a melee squad can get. Gene Stealers, I think, will beat a Nob squad if they are under melee synapse, especially if they use Adrenal Rush. 199, 267, it's a 1-to-1 cap. Techmarine going after the looted tank. Can't do much with his axe with the Mechanicum, but he's going to have a go. It's a power weapon, so it's doing a little bit of damage to that looted tank. Tank busters with good accuracy versus these large Terminators. Get a shot off, but then run away. Max Power is pushing mid hard. Has Sniper Scouts who are decapping. 187, 267. Carnifex on the way for Floyd. Land Raider Crusader is still around, guarding Blue's natural. Still kicking off on the west side, is it? No, red team pretty much have it under control. Auto cannon is up for the Chaos Terminators. These guys now get a 20% health buff when they get their lightning claws, which is an awesome change. I think they become really dangerous with lightning claws now, because you can combine that with Chaos Worship to have a very nasty melee squad. 185, 267. bunch of these capillary towers still up. Double zone throats in. This is beta 6, by the way. Probably should have mentioned that earlier. Got the infestation towers for Tyranids, which were bugged in beta 5, have been fixed temporarily. Anyway, they're probably going to go under further changes and tweaks, but at least they're not bugged anymore. 185267. This beacon doing a very good job for blue team so far. Terminators can get some health regen too. Strike squad stood around level 3, and some more Grey Knight Terminators for XPhial. He's going to try again. Chaos Terminators for Osinski needing reinforcement badly. And I think it's 100 rec, 50 power to reinforce Chaos Terminators, 150 and 50 to reinforce Loyalist Terminators. Not sure how much Grey Knight Terminators are to reinforce. Weird boy on the field for Adila. Let's have a look at the Warboss. He's level 2 Power Claw now. Heavy armor and the boss pole. Almost 2,000 hit points at just level 2 for this guy. Tank Busters alongside. Also has Looters still. And they have the Beam of Death Gun, and that will do a lot of damage to the Terminators. Osinski now mid. His Chaos Terminators with their autocannon still back at base. Still has his Bloodletters as well, level 2. With his Heretics too. Land Raider Crusader now pushing. Red team are camped on the west side. Floid needs to come back mid and help out Adila. Adila took tons of damage in seconds and runs away. The Warboss is not finished though. He is angry. There's his stomp. And a Warp Vomit from the Weird Boy. Nicely done, but he is going to be forced off here, I think. Weird Boy needs to run away. 138. 267. That was an Imperial Abyss from Illethor. Not sure what it did. I missed most of it. Did a decent amount of damage to the Land Raider Crusader. I think everything got inside and avoided that. As you can see, the Land Raider Crusader giving health and energy regeneration to allies around it. If you are close enough, you do need to be quite close for that. Allows you to reinforce as well. Chaos Lord runs away for Illethor level 6. Grey Knight Terminators teleporting in, and they will make short work of those Raptors who jump out. We have Grey Knight Terminators, Chaos Terminators and Space Marine Terminators for blue team. 112, 267. Red team still with the 2-1 though, and they're looking very, very solid. They've preserved their units very well. Blue team on the other hand, Osinski lost a bunch of stuff, didn't he? Max Power lost, Assault Marines and XPhial lost his Grey Knight Terminators very, very quickly. His first ones anyway. Here's the Carnifex with a Venom Cannon. And that's going to do a lot of damage to the Terminators as well. 96, 267. They still need to deal with this Land Raider Crusader though if they want to pressure Blue's natural. Still some burrow traps up. Level 3 Ravener Alpha. Might want to switch to the damage Synapse Aura now that he's deep into tier 3. Lots of detectors around to spot these traps. 84, 267. Another burrow trap up here guarding the VP. West side turning blue. Blue team taking advantage of red team all going mid there. 84, 267. Side cannon is up for the Grey Knight Terminators. Would have much preferred them to get the Incinerator, I think, because red team have a huge infantry army, and the Incinerator for Grey Knight Terminators and Paladins is awesome. Does damage over time with some lingering flames, I believe. That was a burrow trap that went off. Great unclean one on the field for Illethor, and here he is. Super unit for Chaos, hugely tough, over 6,000 hit points of super heavy infantry armor, which is the same type of armor that Terminators have. Lots of nasty abilities and passively damages nearby enemies as well. Is a demon, so benefits greatly from worship. Illethor does have heretics, not sure where they are. There they are, with grenade launchers and an aspiring champion, and they are worshipping Khorne. So that Khorne worship will give a speed buff to the Great Unclean One, as well as the health and energy regen that demons always get from worship. He's took a bunch of damage, but is tanking a lot of damage, allowing Floid to move in with his Tyranid army, and he's got a very, very, very Tyranid army now. Gene Stealers under melee Synapse alongside double zone throats that can be very, very difficult to deal with. 70, 250 Red team pushing hard with a 2-to-1, pushing blue all the way back into their base. In fact, Grey Knight Terminator is coming back to the Chaos base to avoid death from these Gene Stealers. Got a slight health reduction recently, Gene Stealers. I can't remember if it was Beta 5 or Beta 6. I'm pretty sure it was Beta 5. I think it's 15 HP less per model. They also return slightly less health when they use their Adrenal Rush per attack. Brother Captain goes down. XPhial, forgetting about him it seems. 65 250. Can blue team come back into this? Maybe they can, because they're pushing mid, and they've decapped Red's natural. Down goes the Weird Boy. Surely yes, he can be very, very difficult to take down the Weird Boy with his Warp Vomit and his destructive ranged attack. Terminators cannot level. Have a whole bunch of health though. Stern Guard using their Hellfire rounds, which are good versus light infantry and commanders. And we have a Land Raider Redeemer for max power. Good grief. Has 2 Flamestorm cannons and a Frag Assault. And there is the Frag Assault. But here's a Rocks from Adila. Good grief. The Ork nuke is devastating. Look at the damage from those rocks. Here comes a Venom Cannon Carnifex as well. Easily able to outrange the multi-melters on these Land Raiders, which are the only thing they have really that can damage a vehicle, and Carnifexes have vehicle armor. 65 233, 2-to-1 cap for blue. Tank Buster Barrage, and that thing is nasty. Look at the damage to that Redeemer. It's being quadruple repaired, I think. Orks are forced off. Blue team now have huge amounts of reinforcements here, and they're all being supported by these double Land Raiders, allowing all of this stuff to reinforce and giving health, and in the case of the Crusader, energy regeneration. Double zone throws excellently managed in this game by Floyd. This one might go down though. Level 3, both level 3 in fact. You see these Space Marine Terminators passively buffing nearby allies whenever they kill anything. Allows her to do more damage. Grey Knight Terminators passively drain the energy of nearby enemies. You see them draining the energy of these Gene Stealers and such, but that is way too much for them to deal with. Gene Stealers are freaking nasty. They are being suppressed now by the Land Raider Crusader. There's another Triner formation. Did they see it? I don't think Max did. Lots of disruption, but not a whole lot of damage from this thing, and the Land Raiders easily survive. 65 190. 2-to-1 cap for blue now. Look at the map change. Osinski has 2 Chaos Terminator squads, and there's another Abyss. This from Illethor doing a lot of damage in the center, which this Crusader is parked right on. Max Powers Land Raider Redeemer in huge amounts of trouble. Here comes a Battle Wagon. What is this now? Is that a Venerable? It is a Venerable Dreadnought from Max Power, a Walker vehicle unique to the Techmarine, very, very powerful in melee combat, but look at the damage it's taken, good grief, from those Tank Busters, Corrosive Shocks, and that Venom Cannon Carnifex. Good grief, look how much hit points it lost already. That thing really needs to get a ranged weapon upgrade. 50 187. Crusader being chased, the Redeemer somehow surviving, but blue team are retreating back to their natural. Here's the Battle Wagon and super unit for Orks. Frundles around, running over stuff and shooting it. Has some pretty decent firepower when you put a squad inside. Also gets a nice speed buff when you put a squad inside. 49 187. West side is turning blue, and it is blue. 49 186. Can blue team pull this out? Osinski with double autocannon Chaos Terminators. These guys demoralizing nearby enemies. Whenever they make a kill, you see the demoralizing effect on his Chaos Space Marines here, reducing damage and increasing how much damage they take as well. It's a pretty nasty debuff. I believe it's 5% less damage per stack, and they take 2% more damage per stack. I'm not sure how many times it stacks. 3 to 5 times would be my guess, but it's a pretty nasty debuff, especially with the autocannon potentially killing multiple targets with area of effect. Both squads only with 2 models though, being chased down by these Gene Stealers, who have bitten off way more than they can chew, and the Gene Stealers get wiped. That's a big blow for Floyd. loses his Gene Stealers now. 49-154. Chaos Lord kicking some serious ass. This is Osinski, level 7. Mantle of Hate, Icon of Corn, Lightning Claws. 49-147. He's in retreat now though, and that is triple Zone Thropes. Is it for Floid? Yes. Runs away though. Venom Cannon can't effect still around. Has almost, well, not too far away from leveling. Here come Auto Cannon Havocs. These guys level 3. They're doing some very nice damage now. Bloodletters though are closing in. Don't overextend. Bloodletters. That you saw though, short range passive teleport there. But here comes the Great Unclean One back out of base for Illethor. Look how much resources Illethor is floating right now. 49-125. Does he have the population to get anything nasty though? Don't think he can get a tank or anything. Maybe some more Plague Marines. Venerable Dreadnought needs repairs. Stormtroopers are the repair unit for Grey Knights, and they are repairing it. It's gonna take a while though. Venerable starts off with 1750 hit points, which is a hell of a lot for a melee walker. Grey Knight Dreadnought, for comparison, has 1300 hit points to start off, but does start off with a ranged weapon of course, and has other ranged weapon options. Raptors with their Demon Maul, this thing looks nuts. 45 DPS power melee. Also gives them the Demonic Strength ability, which knocks back and does 200 damage to a single model, which will in turn knock back anything it hits. And the Aspiring Champion now has the head of Eliphas from the campaign, which is pretty cool, as you can see there. Doesn't worry about headshots. Stone Guard Veterans level 4 taking down Orks squad there. Not sure what that was. That was looters, I think. Put them down in melee. Battle Wagon responds in kind and tries to run them over. Here comes blue team again. An awesome back and forth in mid. Blue team pushing with the Land Raiders, forced off, but here they come again. Rhino with a las cannon also is there. This is a Thornback Carnifex now for Floyd. Where's the Venom Cannon one? It's on the west side. Fighting all over the map. 20, 114, 221 for red. Blue team with a valiant effort, but it might be too much. Chaos Terminator is losing models there. Warrior Brood needs to run away. Level 3 doesn't want to lose these guys. Techmarine getting shots off with his plasma pistol, almost finished them off. Venerable Dreadnought now going after the Thornback Carnifex. Just losing health like crazy. That Rhino weighing in with twinning las cannon shots. And now Terminators with their power fists finish it off. I think the Venerable Dreadnought in fact got the last hit, which inspired the Terminators. Lots of inspiration on kill in late game Space Marine. Librarian can do it, Terminators can do it, and the Venerable Dreadnought can do it. And Dreadnoughts, regular Dreadnoughts of course, can do it as well with their melee kills. 9-107, a single cap for blue. Gonna get a double here, they might get a triple here, this is nuts. Tank Buster Barrage. Flash Gits on the field with their Git Finders. Forced off though. Venerable Dreadnought charges in, doing very well. There's a Hell Fury Strike from XPhial, that's a global ability of the Grey Knights. Floyd losing tons of stuff, only has a single zone threat left. It's level 4 though. That's how quickly it can go wrong for Tyranids in big 3v3s. Synapse bombs all over the place, cascading damage throughout your army, and it hurts a lot. Carnifex with Venom Cannon back at base healing up. Back at Illithor's base in fact. Look at the destruction at this VP. Bodies everywhere. Scorch marks. Battle Wagon's going to go down I think, getting too close. Wow, to that multi-melter of the Crusader. And the Rhino's now level 2. The Venerable Dreadnought has done very well. The huge advantage that it does have is that it can level. Much like Carnifexes and other Dreadnoughts of course. And it's almost 2000 hit points level 2. And it's almost leveled again. Warboss level 4 puts Hard Boys on himself, but it's not enough and runs away. There's the double cap for blue team, they're going to do this. Red team have the west. And there's the 2-1 for blue. 9-7, it's very close and they are going to be winning this game. Venerable, don't die. Just survive one game. Looted tank's going to finish it off. No, it doesn't. It survives away. Almost level 3. And there is the finish. An awesome game. The beacon really helping out blue team. Helping them stay relevant in the mid. I don't think they ever retreated back to base, did they? They never had to because of that beacon. Awesome, awesome stuff from that Techmarine. What level was he at the end? He was level 7. Melee Techmarines are no joke. Brother Captain, level 6, almost level 7 himself, had the Holy Armor of Titan. Chaos Lord of Osinski was level 8 and down. Don't think he minds, they won. Level 9 Chaos Lord for Illethor. Raven Alpha was level 6. And the Warboss level 4 struggled, I think, compared to the other commanders. Thank you for watching, guys. I will see you next time.